They called it an accident, an unfortunate incident during a routine inspection. But the child's body told a different story, bruises that didn't match their report, burns no 7-year-old should endure. The aliens claimed ignorance, said it wasn't their fault. Earth didn't respond with words, we responded with fire. One human child was worth more than their entire species, and the galaxy was about to learn exactly what that meant. They thought we were tame, civilized, predictable. The Galactic Concord considered humanity a newly matured race, green, idealistic, soft. And maybe we were, until they touched our child. Her name was Lyra Reyes, 7 years old, daughter of Lieutenant Commander Joel Reyes, stationed aboard the diplomatic vessel Halcyon's Promise. It was meant to be a peaceful mission, a summit with the Zavrathi delegation to finalize trade routes and open diplomatic exchanges. A simple, structured event with rules agreed upon centuries ago. But someone broke those rules, and they broke them in the worst possible way. The Zavrathi claimed it was an accident, said the child had wandered into a restricted zone, was detained for her own safety, and suffered injuries during containment. The report glossed over details, brushed them aside like inconvenient stains. But the med scans told the truth. Lyra hadn't wandered, she'd been taken. Restrained. Tortured. Her death wasn't swift, it was calculated. When the footage leaked, when humanity saw what they did to her, it wasn't grief that rose across Earth's networks. It was fury. A fury older than peace treaties, older than spaceflight, older than language. For centuries we'd tried to integrate, tried to be good neighbors to a galaxy filled with strange customs and alien arrogance. We bent. We compromised. We smiled when they mocked our short lifespans and called us primitives with guns. But this was the moment humanity remembered who we are. Fleet Admiral Kasara didn't wait for a council vote. She stood on the dais before the Interstellar Assembly, stone-faced, silent, as the footage of Lyra's broken body played on every screen. Delegates averted their eyes. The Zavrathi ambassador tried to speak. Kasara raised one finger, and the chamber went still. She was 7, Kasara said. You didn't kill a child, you awoke Earth. Within the hour, every human fleet was put on alert. Old ships long mothballed were reactivated, vessels from wars the galaxy had forgotten, powered by reactors that hadn't roared in over a century. Mars shipyards ran 24-hour shifts. Civilian transports were recalled and refitted with armor. Reservists were called back. Many didn't wait for orders. They volunteered, no hesitation, no questions. Because Lyra wasn't just Joel's daughter, she was all of ours. The Zavrathi homeworld was 30 light-years away, but distance never stopped vengeance. Not when humans carried the fire of a dead child in their hearts. The Vindicator, an aging dreadnought slated for decommission, led the charge. She bore Lyra's name etched in steel on her bow, deep, unforgiving cuts that would never fade. The Galactic Concord pleaded for diplomacy, asked for restraint, offered reparations and formal apologies. But words didn't erase the bruises. They didn't stop the screams replayed in every home, every school, every barracks on Earth. The Zavrathi begged the Council for protection. But no one moved. No fleet came to their aid. No shield rose to guard them. Because deep down, even the other species understood, some lines can't be crossed. When the first human ships arrived in Zavrathi orbit, they didn't fire immediately. They broadcast a single message, raw and unfiltered. You had your trial. The sentence is war. And war it was. The Zavrathi fleet was advanced, sleek ships with adaptive shielding and gravity lens beam weapons. But they weren't ready. Not for humans who didn't care about survival. Not for Marines who loaded rounds etched with the name Lyra and painted her drawings on their armor. Not for dropships that came down through anti-air fire singing lullabies. We didn't conquer. We didn't occupy. We erased. Cities turned to ash. Military complexes reduced to glass. Orbital stations shattered like bone. But even in wrath we were precise. No hospitals. No schools. No civilians. Humanity's fury wasn't blind, it was justice with teeth. Some Zavrathi tried to flee, found refuge on fringe worlds, pleaded for asylum. Some humans voted to let them live. Others disagreed. The deciding vote came from Commander Reyes himself, Lyra's father. He stood before the Terran High Council, uniform unbuttoned, hands trembling. Let them run, he said. Let them remember. Let every parent in the galaxy whisper my daughter's name when they tuck their young into bed. And they did. Generations later, across hundreds of worlds, her name still lingers. Lyra, the little girl who reminded the galaxy what it meant to provoke Earth. Children learn her story in schools, not as a tragedy, but as a warning. Treat humanity with respect, or face what sleeps beneath our skin. Some say we went too far, that vengeance made us monsters, that in punishing the Zavrathi we became like them. But they forget, we didn't start the fire. We merely carried it, and we carry it still. Peace returned, eventually. New treaties were signed. Old wounds bandaged, but never truly healed. The Galactic Concord restructured its rules. New laws protecting younglings of every species. New oversight to prevent another Lyra. But they also moved their headquarters farther from Earth. Farther from the Fury. And Earth didn't celebrate. No fireworks. No parades. Just silence. And a statue, small, simple, of a girl in a sundress holding a stuffed bear. She stands outside Fleet Command, forever looking up at the stars. A reminder that peace is precious, but the cost of harming our children is infinite. So now, when new species make contact with us, when they ask who we are and what we stand for, they're shown two things. One is our flag, a swirling blue sphere, fragile but proud. The other is her face. And that's all they need to see.